We will not use our cell phones. We won't grade papers. We're only going to express positive and constructive comments. We will be attentive and participate, be respectful of others. Department chairs will send a representative unable to attend. We'll record the meetings and a link will be sent out to the faculty and staff. Department chairs will meet with their respective departments after the advisory meeting. And the last one, we will rotate department chairs every 2 years.
Well, I know we'll go get started. The biggest thing is, for me, I really don't have anything other than to explain what I meant yesterday as far as how I was thinking about over the spring break and thinking about things that we have no control of and things that we do have control of. And with everybody's concern over the student growth rate and the way in this new evaluation how it's going to affect us. And I can remember what started my wheels to turn over spring break is when we passed out the pamphlet, and a lot of us went ahead and started looking, and bringing it back up and saying, well, I'm needs development no matter what I do on, one half, I'm already needs development. So in thinking along those lines, for me, my evaluation, 70-some% of my evaluation is on student growth. But for me, if my SLO teachers, talking school-wide, if my SLO teachers do pretty good on a test that the students know they created, then if my milestone dips like all the data is saying it should dip, at least I have SLOs to kind of balance me a little bit. So in thinking about that, I was thinking, well, why can't we do that where we can school-wide and give everybody an opportunity to have something to balance it against, and also spread the thing out? Because if I've got a teacher that has 7 or 6 classes that require a milestone, and then I have one class that may not have an SLO or have an SLO, most likely may not have an SLO, and I've got the same teacher in that department with the same certification that has 3 SLOs and then 3 classes with no SLO or no milestone, then that's not balanced. So where we can, and I'll say it again, where we can, this is just my thinking when we start getting the projections, when y'all start plugging in classes, I just want you to kind of think along those lines and shuffle classes where you can, where there's a milestone to counteract there's an SLO to counteract the milestone. And that's kind of what I was talking about yesterday. Just like me and Ms. Seven was just discussing, a good example, without giving any more preps, I got Ms. Moore that teaches physics, and I got her that teach physical science. Well, the physical science has a milestone. The physics don't. So other than just meeting the science requirement for the kids to graduate, as far as Ms. Moore and her personal self, physics don't help her. You see what I'm saying, as far as evaluation? But if we create a physics milestone, SLO, right, SLO, where we know what's on it, we created it, and she give a physics SLO, then if her milestone peaks, great. If it dips a little bit, at least she has that SLO to kind of, give her a little thing. Whereas now, if it's not created, then it's just whatever it is on that one test, her whole part of 50% of her evaluation is based on that. So that's where my thinking was, and that is something that we can control. So just there's no limit on SLOs, there's no limit on how many SLOs we can have. So just create SLOs, there's an SLO bank, just go in that bank and tweak and pull out, and we've already created them. We've already know the mistakes that we made, and we've already went in, those of us that created them last year, we went in and made those changes based off of what we learned the first time around. So share that with a person that hadn't created it, so they won't make the same mistakes, and make those SLOs to where they will help us as far as our student growth rate is concerned. Now, I know it was concerned about preps. Well, it's not really a prep thing, like as more as creating more SLO tests to plug in. Now, in some instances, there will be maybe somebody who's been teaching all SLOs, or maybe a couple SLOs, and then another class that doesn't have an SLO. Well, if they have the same certification as the person that's been teaching all milestones, then give that person that's been teaching all milestones a little relief and maybe split that thing up. So now the person that's teaching the milestone has an SLO. The person that was teaching all SLOs and maybe a class with nothing has a milestone and an SLO to bounce it off of. So that's kind of what, and I'm sorry that thing got kind of twisted yesterday, but just to clarify, and if you'll clarify back with your department, I wasn't really looking at preps and things like that. I was just looking at, and there are going to be places we can do it, there are going to be places that we can't do it. Because I know science is unless you broad field, if you, whatever your certification is, that's what you have to teach. And it's the same with, well, social studies, everybody's broad field. But if they wasn't, whatever their certification is, that's what they would have to teach. So in certain situations, in math, you know, I may have a geometry person that, listen, I want all geometry, or I just enjoy what I'm doing. But, and where it would fit is make an SLO where we can make it fit. But just try to, organizational wise, just try to spread this thing out. So, you know, for many years with the No Child Left Behind, whether your school was a passing school depended on science, math, social studies, and English. Depended on those 4 subjects for 20-some years. And we got other subjects that really, the biggest thing was just, just getting it, their biggest thing was getting the kids passed, successful, and whatever. But we had 4 departments that basically, if they didn't get what they needed, they felt the whole load. And what I was thinking about that is trying to not make that happen, even though we have more people and everybody has SLOs, but it still can be fixed a little bit to make it a little more equitable where we can do it. So that's what I was saying yesterday. That's kind of where my thinking is. Projections are about to come out. So as you're looking at your projections and you plugging people in, I just want you to think in that frame of mind. Okay?
All right, I have a question.
Okay.
Mr. Paz asked me today, okay, if he has American Lit, which has a milestone,
Right.
and he teaches AP Lit with his AP test, he's going to need to teach another class that has an SLO.
Well, did he come see? Because he was talking to see if there was an AP, I don't know if it's an AP SLO.
He was just asking me, were we going to have to do...
I don't think that there are any AP SLOs.
There's not.
The only thing that I could think of that we could do, well, I don't know, those come from the state. They have to be approved by the state, right? So it's not like we could go into the biology SLOs and pick the higher questions for AP biology. We couldn't do that, could we?
I'm not even sure we're allowed to have an AP, anything SLO.
Well, and in his case, that might be a situation where it doesn't fit.
That's all we were trying to figure out was
Now,
when we do
Go ahead.
projections.
AP does help us, the pass rate of AP does help us on CCRP.
Yeah.
So we do need to increase the number of kids passing AP exams, because it will help us there.
Yeah, that helps us a lot,
thought they
yeah,
took
but
that
it does
out.
not,
I thought it was still there.
but it does not count, it does not count.
Yeah, just double check, because I thought when we looked, we said that they took, I thought they
I know
took
they made a
AP
few
out
adjustments
I'll
on
check.
that.
and added physics,
That's right, because we added a
but they
physics
took the
class.
whole AP thing out,
Oh.
I thought.
Yeah,
I'll
check
look.
that. But I know that in his, he teaches American,
He teaches American Lit, which has a milestone, and then he has the AP.
Right.
He has ninth grade honors too.
ninth grade honors, what? I mean, and it has a milestone.
It has a milestone as well. But if he was just saying, for example, if he didn't teach ninth grade, does he not need to teach ninth grade honors? Because now he's going to need to teach something to SLO.
Well,
That's what they were asking.
But what happens is, really in your ninth grade honors and your AP, you know, you're not really gonna have a problem with growth. Now, your growth may not be as a wide margin, but I'm thinking more in lines of the regular, I wouldn't really factor in AP and honors.
Okay.
I was thinking more of the regular ed kids where there is normally a dip, like just your regular ed classes is where I was more thinking in lines of. Because normally your AP and stuff, they pretty much always.
Well, it'll probably change anyway, because like if Miss Brown teaches 11th grade, she has 11th grade all day. So she'll have to teach, like would have to take some of that though to lighten her load.
See, like
basically.
something like that, where.
She has the basic reading and the communication skills, and she has the AP, I mean not the AP, but the American Lit.
Right.
So she has milestone accountability all
Right.
day. So
And-
we would need to
and
take
my-
that.
Well, and this is gonna take some thought. I
Yeah, it's
just
gonna
can't
be-
sit there, because it's gonna take some thought. But what you have to do is you have to look at your whole department.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to look at, now I may have some teachers say, don't worry about it.
Yeah, like Denise.
See, that was
Yeah,
what
I'd
had
rather
happened
teach-
She won't-
because
Yeah.
they had already sent me what they wanted to teach, but based on what they want to teach is not fitting the SLO milestone. So they were like, whoa, do we need to go back and change that?
Well, and my thing is, this is just something that I'm saying
Will help.
that
help
will
us,
help
to
you.
help us.
I'm not
Okay.
gonna cram but if I'm a milestone teacher all day long, and I'm teaching basically our regular ed students, that's you know,
Mm-hmm.
when I start talking my growth percentage being 50%, I need some relief. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Now
I
I
see
may
what you're
have,
saying.
it may be a teaching department. It's more important for them to teach 11th grade. And if they say,
What they're
listen,
going to have to decide is do they want more preps and
Well, it's
to
not
help with their
necessarily-
accountability?
well,
It
it's-
is going to, yes.
well, it'll, if I'm teaching all 11th grade,
Uh-huh.
and then when you're talking about a prep, it's gonna be one
That's what I'm
prep,
saying,
basically.
yeah. And if she
So
wants
that's two
SLO
prep.
relief, then she's going to have to add a prep.
That's two
And if
preps.
one of us picks up one of hers, then that's going to add another prep too.
Right.
Okay. That's
But when you're talking about prep, 1, 2, I got people in this building that has 4 preps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just depends on what's going on. I got some that got 5.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on what's going on. But what you have to weigh is, is it worth me going from 1 to 2 preps, that when my student growth model
That's
comes
what I'm
out, it puts me in a needs improvement thing, and then the state says I have to go on a professional development plan. So then when you go on a professional development plan, it's going to automatically make you have to do all these things to meet the requirements of your professional development plan. Me, I'll take the 1 more prep, and then that way it'll balance out. And the only reason I thought about this, because that's what happens with me as the principal. When I go in, all of the data, all of the student growth applies to me. So, and Audrey and I, when this thing first started, Audrey and I was having this conversation, and it didn't hit me till spring break, but at the beginning of the year, I was telling Audrey, I said, now, for me, if my SLOs is where they're supposed to be, then I do get a little relief. But then in thinking about that, why can't we do that for everybody where it's possible? Again, where it's possible. Now, you may have an 11th grade lit teacher to say, I'm fine. You know, I'm fine. I'm not gonna certainly, you know, you may have a teacher say, I'm good. I'll just take whatever it comes. But this is just speaking in terms of things that we do have control over. And that's what I'm speaking in terms of.
So like for me, I have 2 milestone classes and my other 4 classes are not. You're fine with me continuing teaching that, and if I want to, I can go create an SLO for that subject to kind of help balance it out.
You have to look departmental, okay? So if you, because what you have to do is you have to look departmental. It really is not your choice more than the person that has a whole day of milestones. You understand what I'm saying? So if that person has a whole day of milestones, they say, listen, y'all, I need some relief. Then we need to start figuring out how we gonna do that. You see what I'm saying? So just thinking along those lines, and I have to look at things, I have to look at it in front of you as a department to tell you how that thing can be shuffled. But projections are about to come out, and I just want to kind of put that in your mind. So as you're planning classes, just try to make that thing where you can, make that thing a little more balanced for these people because if you science, math, social studies, English, you already know how that feels. I mean, y'all been dealing with that for years, and you already know how that feels. And there was no other test that we could give to balance anything. I mean, it is what it is, and if those 4 subjects didn't do well, then your school was a failing school. And that's a heck of a pressure to put on 4 departments. So now that we have an opportunity to balance this thing out, and it's something that we can control, that's along my lines where I'm thinking. So just create SLOs for everything, and then just plug them in where we need to plug them in at. And that's what I'm thinking. Okay? Now, and so that's kind of just to explain what I was talking about yesterday. That's kind of where my mind was going, where it can fit. Okay.
If you'll let me know if you're ready to do an SLO, I can get the sample questions here and we can actually start designing.
When is Ms. Pinion coming back for those of us that were kind of already in the revision process?
She is
I know
coming
we
back.
Okay.
I'll have to see her today.
And the ones, if it's a new SLO that you have to create, and it's somebody in your department who has not created an SLO, well, it's probably that, I think everybody had to create an SLO.
Math did not create any SLOs.
Oh, well, then what you need to do is talk to somebody that's created one, because they already know, oh, we should have done it this way. We shouldn't have put these many questions, or we shouldn't have put, because when it was new, everybody was thinking, okay, it has to be state approved, you know, I need to pile on all of this and stuff like that. But now I think that in the revision process, they've learned what they need to do. So if y'all have to create one, just talk to somebody that's created them and have revised it so you don't make the same mistake. Make sense?
So really a good starting point is talking to the people in your department who have a long period of the day with milestone tests.
Right.
Start with them.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And just wherever you can get them a little relief to balance that thing out, so they'll have something to balance it against. Any other questions on that? All right. Any concerns? Any concerns from any department?
I do have a couple from my department.
Okay.
One of my teachers asked to see if we could consider in the future not having 4th 9 weeks parent night because it's such a low turnout.
Let me tell you what parent night is.
Okay.
Parent night is one of those check the block things.
Okay.
So that when you're questioned about in SACS, you question about your parental contact and the things you do for parents. You can say those 4.
Okay.
Because I just when the ladies came from stage, that was one of the things. Well, how do y'all communicate with parents? We said we do parent night 4 times a year. We do parent. Oh, okay, that's good.
Okay.
So that's what that is for. Now,
Okay.
what we need to come up with a way to get them out.
To get them out here.
Right. That's what we need to be thinking about. it's gonna have to be something that I have to kind of bribe the kids with if your parents come. I've already promised the ice cream. If you have children here, and you need to do the health survey, go ahead and do it. If you did it, do it again, so that your children get invited to this ice cream social.
That's the first I've heard about this.
Yeah, I just did it last night. You just did it last
I
night.
think that's the one you were like, hang on, y'all might want to hear this.
Yeah, you might want to hear
And
this.
everybody was
So,
oh, okay.
just trying
Sure, I'll do
to
that.
get parents, and then we had parents kind of go in there, and kids was pulling them in there, you know, so we can do this ice cream thing. And I'm gonna put it on announcements, because you can, the parents can do the survey at home, and if they'll just print out, it's a last sheet that says you completed the survey, if they'll just print that out, put a phone number on it, and the kids can bring it, we verify it, and then when we do
Now,
ice
I've
cream.
done one survey as a parent. Is this the same survey or is the health survey different?
Well, you did what was the first one? The SAC survey. And then
Maybe
this is the one that's
different.
talking about the school, your school climate.
I did that one.
Okay,
You haven't
yeah,
done the sax one?
Yes, I've done the
You've
sax
done
one.
2 of them then?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I did do 2 of them.
yeah.
But I just couldn't remember the questions.
And what we need to do is
I
send
sent you
I'll
an
send the
email.
link. We'll send the link out.
Am I supposed to send it to
this-
you or to Audra? Reply when you've completed it? Is that something else I'm thinking
No,
about?
you had to do a staff survey too. So
That
now-
that might be the second one
Yeah,
I'm
you
thinking
did a staff
about.
survey. Yeah, this is parent. You got to go to
Okay.
parent for this.
All right, so where's that link? Is that
On the it's on our website.
on our web-
If you
our
go,
website.
not you know, the first one is the BOE, then you click on Washington County High School.
Okay.
And it's sitting there on the right.
okay?
And when you open it up, it'll say parent.
And
You
just
just go in as a parent.
okay,
Well, I need to do it twice for my 2 children.
There you go.
and then print it.
And then
on
just
the
Do we do it
bring
3 or 4
all-
times so I got some more kids around
And,
here?
you tell 'em- and then just bring the who did I say was gonna collect those things? Who was I talking to?
We
about
all
that?
live.
No, it was just I talked about
Oh,
it.
you doing today?
I didn't talk to you
Well,
about
what
it.
I was talking.
Collecting
She said
the,
she collected
collecting the sheets.
for the ice cream soda.
I have
People that's
Yeah.
doing the survey.
I have them.
Okay, we just give them.
Yeah, okay.
And my other question, after the milestone's over, will we still need to be doing hawk time? Those last couple weeks?
Yeah, because what Hawk Time is going, that's a good question. What Hawk Time is going to turn into after the milestone is it's going to turn into some of the stuff that we were doing in the old Hawk Time, like you know, interview skills, soft skills, stuff like that. So that's what Hawk Time is going to kind of turn into once we finish the milestone. If kids have work to make up and stuff like that. So once milestones are with, then we'll adjust what we do in Hawk Time.
I did have some seniors that asked about the capstone project.
Okay.
Did they still have to have that to graduate?
Yes, but that's working through the English department.
Oh, okay.
And I
That's
told
working.
them, I don't know who they take, but mine are like, I threaten them, that like, if it's not done and done right, they won't graduate.
Oh, my kids seemed like they didn't know anything about
They,
it.
they don't take me.
Well, we were talking, you know,
'Cause
they
mine are
were,
skipped
this is the first year with the capstone
Yeah.
project. And it's not something that has been broadcast. It's just being introduced through the English department.
Okay.
And it's just something they just have to complete.
They're
So
gonna-
this wasn't a necessity for this graduating class, but it was gonna be for next year's graduating class. And so, okay,
And
that's
But
what
they
I was
think it's a
thinking.
necessity for
Okay.
this year.
But we
'cause
have
if they
to do
don't,
it. But
yes, we
do
have
it.
to, they have to
This
do
came
that.
out from the state,
Okay.
and they
Yeah.
have to do it starting this year.
Okay.
It's on the front of that CCR.
So I
is.
just need to tell them to see their English.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
run through the English department.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody else has to, because it's writing.
It's me and Miss Garner and Mr. Paz.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's writing like a paper, and I've got all of that. I need to send you
They
all
do a
that.
portfolio and a research paper, and they're
Okay.
doing research-based activities and stuff.
Okay.
And it's like.
Mine have already started
And
it.
it's some planning, like future
It's
planning and
Future
stuff
planning
like
and
that.
schooling and everything.
Yeah. So let's encourage them, tell them they need to do it, need to do it with a good attitude. Don't put that thing
And
off.
so far, I will say, I mean, I told mine, you know, they actually have to go in and each component has to be checked off, like it has to be done.
That's
And
right.
so far, well, they've taken it more serious than anything, because I told them, I said, they will pull you, Miss Hilson will pull you off that stage, don't think she won't.
Yeah, we need to get it done, because we've got to
So-
check off that all our kids have created a milestone. Any other concern?
One more thing about parents' night, is there any way, and I don't remember why we changed the last one to Tuesday night. We did it for a reason. Do you
Usually the
remember?
chamber banquet is on Thursday.
And that's what I was thinking, but it's not even here on our campus this year, is it?
No.
Isn't it?
No, but usually a lot of our kids are.
Yeah, it,
Well, I mean, but.
All
they
those
don't come to
seniors.
parents' night. I mean, I just don't see couldn't we shift the date around or something?
But
And get it on Thursday night? It's-
But just hold on, because that chamber thing may be back on our campus.
Yeah.
Because you got the new school and all that kind of stuff and the uncertainty of it. And that's why it was moved. But I guarantee once this place
Do
gets,
they always have it on that, are they locked into that date or something?
it's about that same time.
It's usually that Thursday. I think it's-
I thought that's what it used to be.
Yeah, it's normally that same time around every year.
Tuesday night. I think that might be another thing, well, it'll kill you for one thing, working all day and all night, but I think that may be another reason why our attendance drops so badly too. I mean, which I know the end of the year, everybody's busy, this, that, and the other, but, you know, we have it Thursday, and then bam, it's on Tuesday, and I think people get in that routine of having it on Thursdays, and then they just kind of, and another
the parent letters
thing,
go
I'll
out
tell you
so
another
early.
thing, you know, we're always in a tie getting and which I know, you know, the clerical does the parent letters now, but you know, it's always a rush on teachers to get those letters in. You know, it just happens right there, and then you have spring break, and that reminder has been sent out, and then you have spring break, and then bam. you have
Grades
to-
are due.
Yeah, and then grades are due. And
Gotta
But for the
export.
parents too, they get that letter back before spring break, and then I don't think they think anything about it, and then they come out, and it's Tuesday night. I mean.
So even though it's Tuesday night, we might need to move it back.
And I'm saying, yes, and I'm saying for the parents getting the letter, you know how it is when you get something like that, you toss it aside and say, oh, that's a couple of weeks from now.
But if you
They
get it
need
like
to
that
get
week,
that letter
they get it on
on
Tuesday
Monday,
or Monday.
and then parent night is on Thursday. I mean, they don't need to have that much advance notice, I don't think. Y'all, don't you think getting something like that before spring break, and then you got a week off, it happens like this every year.
And 14 weeks is always.
Yeah.
It's always low. Could be
I mean,
one
don't you think they just
forget.
kind of forget about it?
I think that's part of it. I think the busyness
10 days.
is just part of it too.
What I'm gonna have to do is,
10 days
what we
ahead.
gotta do for parent night is we gotta promise those kids something.
You know, and you and I talked about doing one of
Yeah,
those
I mean,
phone
because-
calls, and you and I always talk about it, and we never remember to do it, for you to call and remind those parents that parent night is
Oh, the all-call thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we do the all-call, but even before all of this, for some reason, parents are really involved when they're little. They start dropping off at the middle school, and then it's complete independence at the high school.
Yeah.
And as far as I can remember, we always get the ones that really don't need to come.
That's right.
We do.
You know, we always get the ones that really don't need to come. But until, what we gotta do is try to put some money away, and I guarantee you, if I promise something for those kids, we'll get these parents in here. Because, you know, years ago, we used to feed them. You know, used to feed them spaghetti dinner, and parent night would be full. That probably for you.
We ain't cooking no spaghetti.
No. This was, you can't even use state funding to do that anymore. But this was years and years ago. They used to feed, I'm trying to think, I was here, they used to do hot dogs and I mean, get some of these, been around here a while.
Years, and I don't remember spaghetti dinner.
Yeah, they used to do the hot dogs and it might not have been here. I've been in other schools where they used to feed the parents. Yeah, they used to feed them. But now you can't use federal money to do that anymore. But I can still,
They bring them in.
but I can still treat the kids. I can still
Yeah.
treat the students. So that's what we're gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to bribe them, do something for them, because they were pulling their parents to the meetings, to the library.
They were.
And I just promised them a little ice cream.
For ice cream.
It don't take much for
Get out
the
of
kids. I
class
throw
and
ice cream
ice
sundae and throw some sprinkles and some toppings on there, and they'll
Kelly
be.
gonna do with our little.
That's right.
appreciation.
They'll be lined up. Matter of fact, that's coming up. All right, anything else?
Don't forget that. Just SLOs. I had everybody's picked them up except like 3, but I need, teachers I've had several email me and say, that's fine, I'm giving mine next Wednesday. Hey, that's fine, but
But-
you're
but-
really
but-
pushing, I mean, I'm just saying, don't wait. I would not wait.
But if they've got a window and
I just think some teachers don't realize, especially if you've got a new teacher in your department that's given one, make sure they realize that we have Good Behavior Day and of course Pathway Test and Honors Day and Talent Party Day.
right.
I mean, it's gonna be hard if
So
you
the
just step
quicker they
that
can
up.
give it and just get it over with is the better. Because if they wait till the last minute, they're gonna be in a tight.
Run out of time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna be in a tight, so just remind them. Anything else?
And remind the teachers, their students that have accommodations to get with whoever.
Yeah, their inclusion
I've told
teachers.
the SPED teachers to try to get in touch with the ones that they cover, and they should be doing that. But just remember that you do have those kids we have to pull out for the read aloud and extended time.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
departmental awards, that are going out, what, was it, Ms. Severance brought it, that what could possibly be done, and not necessarily the CTA or fine arts, but with the academics, if you have several teachers teaching one class, to get together and find out who has the highest average in that one class, and then just either send that to your department head or designate somebody to do that, and then send it to me just in case. I mean, I've never had a problem, except this time I've had one that could possibly be an issue where I maybe get more than one person and I only need one person's name. I mean, if there's a tie, that's understandable, but I need the highest grade in the course, not per class. So maybe.
Right, so in the past, we've always just had, like, I just tell my department, send me the highest average, and I list all the courses. And then I take it, because like I have two people that teach physical science, whichever one has the highest, that's what I send Tiffany. Biology, whichever one has the highest, so that Tiffany doesn't have to filter through,
That's right.
you know, mine and Alicia's biology highest average. I've always done that
That's right.
on my end.
That's right. Yeah, please have your departments do that and get it to her, because we did it yesterday.
We're trying to get it done tomorrow, so that way we can get the kids notified, so that they can, before the weekend, so that they can have time to get their parents
Tell parents
to come.
Yeah.
When is it's the date?
Yeah, Thursday. Not next Thursday, not this Thursday, but next Thursday.
All right, so let's tell them to
Hey,
get
Dr.
that done.
Everybody, I mean, school-wide, we are all calculating that the same way, right? Pretty much. Like she just said, they're taking their first semester.
Yeah, my teachers were taking their first semester grade and counting it twice, and taking third 9 weeks and counting it, and then adding them together and dividing by 3.
That's how we do it.
That's what they've
Just want
always
to make
done.
sure everybody's, that's how we do,
That's a good point. yeah.
good question.
Yeah.
She
I mean, you know,
just eyeball it and say it's him.
I know,
Yeah,
we have
especially
a
the
teacher, I want to
person
make
that-
sure she's calculating it right, you know?
Yeah, because you
and
want to make sure, like,
I wanna make sure I'm
Ms.
telling them the
Garner and I
right
do it the
thing.
same way, so it's fair to the kid.
That's right.
And I know she sent you names today. That's why I was saying scratch them, because that was just for her class, and she didn't ask me.
Okay, not a problem. I'm just, nothing's written in stone.
Yeah, that's what I
am
was-
working on the master, gotta do the master list, and I gotta do the program, and I gotta get it done by Tuesday. But I would like to get
Got
the
it.
kids notified by Friday, if at all
So
possible.
the deadline is tomorrow. All right, anything else? Y'all got anything? You good? All right, all you got anything?
Y'all can sign it.
Make sure you sign in. Thank you for coming.